Hello, Liberty students, my fellow students. I want to talk about Detroit, Henry Ford, and the Ford Motor Company. And Detroit is a very diverse part of the country. Detroit has people from the Middle East, the Deep South, white and black. Southwest Detroit has a very strong Latino population. There's Polish populations in Wyandotte and Hamtramck, predominantly Polish. And how did this happen? And the question was, how did it happen? And pretty early on, Henry Ford and the Ford Motor Company had a large hand in the attraction of gaining a good job. And so essentially people came from everywhere. And the research clearly indicates that the Eastern European immigrant, Central European immigrant was drawn to Detroit. Then you have the Great Migration. A lot of African-American men come to the northern cities. Detroit was a big part of this at Ford Motor. And the sources that I was able to utilize came from the Henry Ford Museum, the Detroit Historical Society, the Ford Archives. There's some oral histories in there. There's some documents I was able to obtain, even though the library is closed. The Benson Library is closed right now. They still had some digital documents. And the African American Mosaic that's available through Liberty, and the Latino American Mosaic, and newspapers, Detroit newspapers, the New York Times, Harper's Weekly, and opportunities were available for everyone at Ford Motor. Henry Ford hired African American males at an astounding rate. At one point, half of Detroit's entire male population was working for Ford Motor. And to me, that was stunning, that half of the entire population of Detroit, of a particular group, the African American males in this case, all worked for Ford Motor. I found some very capable secondary sources. The Henry Ford biography by Vincent Curcio was a outstanding work. And of course, I found several dozen sources to turn to. Beth Tompkin Bates talking about Henry Ford and the making of a Black Detroit. That was instrumental. I found some nice primary sources at the Arab American Museum. It's the only Arab American museum in the country. Dearborn, a suburb of Detroit, has the largest Arab population outside the Middle East. So if you ever go to Dearborn, you will see a lot of Arab culture. Restaurants, hookah shops are pretty prevalent. You'll see some beautiful mosques. And of course, the Arab American Museum. There's quite a bit of wealth of secondary sources on Henry Ford. Henry Ford is arguably Detroit's most famous citizen ever. And that includes people like Joe Louis. So Henry Ford was a big part of Detroit. Detroit is very much connected to the automobile industry. It's very evident. Detroit Red Wings, Detroit Pistons, Ford Field, the North American Auto Show in Detroit yearly, always a big attraction. And if you travel, Tokyo to Detroit is a one-way flight, nonstop flight. Same thing with Frankfurt, Germany. This is all tied into the auto industry. And Henry Ford was one of the early success stories in the auto industry. So these were some of the things I looked at and some of the sources I was able to find. And it was a fun project to work on. It would have been nice if the Benson Historical Research Library was open. They have some staffing problems directly, COVID and other things that are going on. But thank you, and it's been a great semester. Thanks.